On July 28, the Singapore government made 4 separate property announcements. Then the headlines came out. Government adjusts property rules, 15-month wait-out period removed. Development timelines extended for large en bloc sites. And most people read it with mixed feelings. Some thought, finally the market is opening up again. Others weren't so sure. Why now? Is something bad coming? Today, I want to offer a different read. Because if you look carefully at what was actually announced, the timing, the combination, the specific threshold, this isn't a relaxation. This is calibration. And there is a very important difference. Governments that react are caught off guard. They tighten when it's too late. They ease when panic has already set in. Singapore has never operated that way in property. What we saw last week was deliberate. 4 separate levers move at the same time. They make it easier for people to move. Now, they protected future housing supply years from now. They raised the bar on who gets to call themselves a real estate salesperson. They opened up a conversation about who else should be allowed to buy HDB. 4 different levers, 4 different time horizons. That's not reacting to a problem, that's managing a system before problems appear. Let me start with the most talked about change, the 15-month wait-out period removed, effective immediately 28 July 2026. From September 2022, if you sold your private property and wanted to buy an HDB resale flat, you had to wait 15 months. You couldn't just decide to right size and move, you had to hold. Why was it introduced? Look at this. In 2022, HDB resale prices were rising nearly 3% every single quarter. That's a 12% annual pace for public housing. The government stepped in. Now, look at what happened next. The index peaked at 203.7 in Q3 2025. It's now 202.8, 3 consecutive quarters of decline. The break did its job, so the government removed it. Now, here's the honest question I want to address directly. Because some of you may be thinking, Jamie, the HDB index went from 168 to 2003, and that's a 20% increase there. How did the cooling measures succeed when prices are still way above where they started? Fair point. The answer is in what the government was actually targeting. It was never about bringing prices back down. It was about stopping a runaway pace. And if you adjust for inflation, Singapore CPI rose about 10 to 12% over the same period. And that 20% nominal gain translates to roughly 8 to 10% in real terms. That's about 2.5% per year in real appreciation. That's not a surge. That's a market that grew healthily and then stopped. The signal from the government is clear. We are done cooling. The system can breathe again. The second change barely made the headlines, but for Singapore's housing supply 5 to 7 years from now, it may matter more than anything else. Developers who buy large en bloc sites, old estate being collectively redeveloped, now get more time to complete and sell all units before tax relief is clawed back. Why does this matter to you? Because the homes you will be buying 5 to 7 years from now are being planned today. If developers don't buy these large old sites for redevelopment today, supply will tighten in a few years, and when supply tightens, prices go up. The government is stepping in before that happens. The third announcement isn't about prices, it's about trust. Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest financial decisions most Singaporeans will ever make, and the government wants to raise the standard of professionals guiding those decisions. From January 2027, every registered salesperson must complete at least 3 transactions every year to continue their registration. Now, here's why this matters. Property markets change constantly. Prices change, policy change, buyer behavior changes. If you are not active in the market, it's much harder to stay current. So I don't see this as a downside. I see it as raising professional standard, and that's good for consumer. But here's the change I found even more interesting. Today, HDB owners can already market and sell their flats through the HDB flat portal without engaging a salesperson. And I genuinely think that's a positive step because consumers should have a choice. If your transaction is straightforward and you are comfortable handling it yourself, you should absolutely be able to do so. But when people have a choice, the question changes. It stops being, do I need an agent? And becomes, what value does a good agent bring? I think that's exactly the right question, because not every transaction needs professional representations, and when the transaction is more complex, where pricing, negotiation, timing, and strategy can materially affect the outcome, experience matters. If you can sell your flat yourself and still choose to engage a professional, and that decision means something. It means you are not paying a fee because you have to. You are paying because you believe the value exceeds the cost. To me, that's how every professional service should work. Not through obligation, through value. And when you look at these reforms together, I think the government is sending a clear message. Raise professional standards, give consumer more choice, build a healthier property market. That's not market intervention, that's careful calibration. So what do this announcement actually mean for you? If you are an HDB owner thinking of selling, the removal of the 15-month wait means more eligible buyers can now enter the resale market immediately for larger flats, 5-room, executive and multi-generation units. That could mean a larger pool of potential buyers. And if you are a private property owner thinking about right-sizing to an HDB flat, whether that's for retirement, to free up capital, or simply to simplify your life, the 15-month wait is gone. The moment you sell your private property, you can move. But you can move doesn't mean move without a plan. The more important question has always been the same. Have you positioned yourself correctly? Does this move align with what you actually set out to achieve, both financially and personally? The removal of the wait-out period gives you flexibility, but flexibility only works in your favor when you have already been clear about your own conditions and timeline. If you want to think through what positioning looks like, I've done a full video on this specific decision. The link is in the description below. If you are planning to buy or upgrade, this announcement reinforces something I've been saying for a long time. This isn't a market to rush into, but it's also not a market to sit on the sidelines indefinitely. When there's less pressure, there's usually more clarity. So don't ask, should I hurry? Ask, are the conditions right for me? Because that's the question that leads to better decisions. When I look at all 4 announcements together, I don't see a government trying to push prices higher or lower. I see a government strengthening the system, planning ahead, rising standards, and keeping the property market sustainable. That's why I don't see this announcement as a relaxation. I see them as another example of careful calibration. If this video helped you understand what these changes mean for your own situation, I would really appreciate if you give it a like or subscribe. And if you are thinking about your next property move, whether you are buying, selling, upgrading or right-sizing, feel free to reach out. Tell me where you are today and where you are hoping to get to. We will work out the best path forward together. No pressure, no rushing, just clarity. I'm 𝗂𝗵𝗀 from 𝐲𝐶A. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!